What is up, guys? It is now official. We can now start applying for healthcare assistant jobs in Australia. With effect from the 14th of June 2023, the Nursing and Midwifery Accreditation Council of Australia started the assessment process. They are now doing the migration skills assessment, which means you can now submit your documents for evaluation, and if you're successful, you can now start applying for jobs. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you some more details on how you can apply to healthcare assistant jobs in Australia, and I'll also share links with you to companies which are hiring from overseas and are offering visa sponsorship, because some of us were asking if these companies are offering visa sponsorship. I'll share with you one company in Australia with 90 locations in Australia, and they are hiring from overseas with visa sponsorship. If you are new to my channel, my name is Pauline Popomoyo, and this is the channel where we keep things real. And before we dive into today's video, guys, I would like to address the social media trolls, because when I posted this video about Australia now hiring from overseas, people came to the comment section, TikTok, YouTube. We do not want people in Australia. Australia is not hiring from overseas. Oh, you're in UK and they're speaking with so much confidence when you don't have links to whatever. Oh, it's illegal to share information about Australia. Guys,
bombastic side eye, criminal offensive side eye.
Australia does not belong to anyone's mother. If you want to go and work in Australia, no one should tell you that, oh, you're overseas, we don't want people from overseas. If the government of Australia says we want people from overseas, they want people from overseas. So let them get people from overseas. And guys, it's the same thing which happened when I first started sharing jobs, healthcare assistant jobs with visa sponsorship here in the UK. Too many naysayers came and said, oh, UK does not need people. Oh, we're getting the information. But as we speak today, thousands and thousands and thousands of people have managed to relocate to UK using the health and care worker visa. So this can be another wonderful opportunity for you guys. Do not let anyone tell you that, no, don't do this. No, you try. You try. Don't put your eggs in one basket. Try Australia as well. Even if you fail, at least you would have tried. And let it be known today, guys, that as long as I see an opportunity that can help people out there, I'll come and share it in this channel, because we want to uplift one another. We cannot see jobs and just keep them to ourselves. If people can benefit, let them benefit. Even if I see jobs in Mars and they need people from Earth, I'll still come and share those jobs, and we'll use spaceships to go to Mars. So guys, without wasting any of your time, let's get into it.
I'm a savage.
So guys, the number one thing that you need to know is whether you qualify for a migration skills assessment. First of all, the migration assessment is around 545 Australian dollars, which is an equivalent of around 300 pounds if I'm converting it to pounds sterling. So they say to apply, you must have certificate 3 minimum qualification in a relevant field obtained overseas. Obtained where? Overseas, which means they want people from where? Overseas, including nursing related study or study in aged care. That's one. In the event that you don't have a level 3 certificate, they say, or full-time paid work experience of at least 12 months in a relevant area completed in Australia or overseas within the last 5 years, including nursing related work or work in aged care setting. And they state that relevant means a course or work experience where direct care roles and responsibilities are focused. This does not include disability support or child care. So guys, I think this is self-explanatory. I explained it in my previous video, and if you did not watch my previous video, I'm going to link it in the description box so that you watch it and you get all the details that you need about relocating to Australia and what they mean about a 12 months experience. So if you don't have a QF level 3, you have to have full-time work paid experience of at least 12 months in a relevant field in the past 5 years. And the good news is, if you are a nurse, this is going to be an easy route for you, because they state that you do not need to have your certificates evaluated. So if you have your diploma, whether it's your degree, and you want to relocate to Australia as an aged care worker, you do not need to have your certificates evaluated. You only need to submit your verification letter. They need to verify. Anyway, let me read the statement so that you get what I'm saying. So they state that if you are a nurse overseas and have completed a qualification that has led to professional registration, then you are eligible to apply. You will need to provide evidence of current overseas nursing registration. Other nursing related qualifications will be assessed on a case-by-case basis. You do not need a skills assessment if you obtained your qualification in Australia. If you completed a qualification overseas from an Australian registered training organization, you will require a skills assessment. So this is very good news, guys, for nurses who are overseas, because you don't have to pay any money for skills assessment. All you need to do is to get a verification letter from your nursing council and you submit it to this email which is on the screen. And once you send your verification letter there and they approve it, it's simple as now applying for jobs in Australia. And remember, the IELTS requirements for this aged care worker visa are very minimum. They need you to have an IELTS band score of 5. So this is a very easy visa route if you are a nurse, because you don't need to take any examination. For example, if you're coming to UK, you know that you have to do computer-based test, CPT, and objective structured clinical examination, which is OSCE. And these two exams are very costly, guys, because OSCE you pay way above £800 and CPT is about £130 or something like that, which means you'd need about £1,000 for you to become a nurse here in the United Kingdom. But if you are using this visa route to Australia, all you need to do is to submit your verification. I don't know how much a verification costs, but it's a matter of going to your nursing council, getting your verification letter and sending to this email, then start applying for jobs in Australia. Simple as that. So if you are applying from overseas, guys, there are certain documents that you need to submit. But because I don't want this video to be very long, I'm going to leave the link in the description box so that you go and navigate and you go to direct skills assessment, where you're going to get all this information. They will tell you what is it that you need for you to be able to be assessed, what documents you need, what documents you need to submit, and all that. So I'm going to answer some of the questions which you asked, because I asked you if you've got any questions. Submit those questions so that I answer them. And the question which was popping out the most is, do they take UKVI? I did IELTS UKVI. Do they take UKVI in Australia? And the answer is yes, they do take IELTS UKVI in Australia. Why? Because the only difference, let's say it's IELTS General UKVI and IELTS General, the only difference is where the test was taken. Otherwise, the contents of the tests are the same. The examination, the questions, everything asked in the examination is the same. The only difference is in the test center, where if you are doing UKVI, there are stricter measures, whether they want to have a camera or whatever. But the examination is the same, which means you can use your IELTS UKVI results to apply to Australia. It's the same test. And then another thing people were asking, I've got Chilton certificate, I've got Allison diploma, I've got what? Is it acceptable? Unfortunately, guys, it's not for me to say the diploma is going to be acceptable or not. It's the Accreditation Council of Australia which is going to look at your diploma, look at your course content, they look at your transcripts. They are the ones who are going to determine whether it's acceptable or it is not acceptable. I cannot come here and lie to you and say it's acceptable when I don't know whether it's acceptable or not. That's why they have to assess and see your course content, and if it is acceptable, there are people who have already applied, guys. As of yesterday, there are people who have already applied, people that I know who have already applied for their documents to be assessed. And if they are successful, I'll come and let you know that, guys, they were successful. And then there is one thing that you need to take note of, guys, which they clearly state in their website. Even if you get your results of the assessment and they state that, okay, you can apply for a job, it does not guarantee that you are going to get a job in Australia. Same applies to UK. I mean, guys, you know that the requirements are, you need to have a TB test, you need to have a what. But having all those things does not necessarily mean that if you apply, you automatically get a job. So that you don't get your hopes very high, always keep that at the back of your mind, that it does not necessarily mean that I'll automatically get a job. It depends on whatever organization you apply to. If they want to take you, they'll take you. If they don't want to take you, you try another organization. It doesn't automatically mean once you have that assessment, you can automatically go to Australia. You have that assessment and then you have an organization saying, we are going to take you, we are going to sponsor you. Just like here in UK, guys, I'm sure you've been seeing how the process is like. It's the same process. Can a registered nurse in Zimbabwe meet the eligibility criteria to work as a healthcare assistant in Australia? Yes, if you are a registered nurse in Zimbabwe and you've got your diploma is above the AQF level 3, which means you are eligible to go and work in Australia. All you need to have is a verification. Then you start applying to these care companies in Australia which are offering visa sponsorship, and if they approve, you can go and work in Australia. Can we go with our families? Yes, you can go with your family as long as you have a visa to Australia. You can go with your dependents to your visa. Hey Pauline, kindly enlighten us on companies that are hiring. If you go to Ed Vlogs with Office page, she did share a company, Baptist Care. Baptist Care actually responded to her email when she asked if they are hiring from overseas and offering visa sponsorship, and they said that as long as you meet the eligibility criteria, they can hire you from overseas. And Baptist Care has over 90 locations in Australia, which means it is a very big organization. If it's in 90 locations is a very big number, guys, and you can try your luck. I'm going to link them in the description box so that you try them out, and I'm also going to link other organizations that are hiring from overseas with visa sponsorship. I'll also link them in my description box. Do they accept PTE test? Yes, they accept it as long as it is equivalent to the IELTS band score that they require. Do they recommend Florence certificates? Like I always say, guys, Florence certificates, you use them to boost your CVs, guys. You use them to boost your CVs, because if you look at Florence certificates, someone can do 1 certificate, 2 certificates, 3 certificates, and there is no practical component. So it is just meant to boost your CVs. If you are applying for jobs, the Florence certificates are meant to boost your CVs. You cannot solely say, I've got a Florence Academy certificate and I'm applying for care jobs. Even here in UK, if you just have Florence certificates alone, they will not take you. They need you to have at least other courses, whether it was Nurse Aid, whether it was St. John's. So Florence certificates alone cannot land you a job in Australia. They can't. If I don't have level 3 care certificate, but you have a children caregiver online certificate and have 2 years of experience, do I qualify for this Australian caregiver job? Remember, guys, they said that if you have at least 1 year experience in a relevant field, so you can use your 1 year experience in a relevant field together with your children care certificate to submit, so that they evaluate whether your experience meets the eligibility criteria and they can use your experience to hire you. Yes, your children can come with you. Thank you, Papa. I think it's gonna be expensive, because I heard that you have to do skills assessment, which I find it very expensive. Please find out more about that, dear. Thank you. Yes, guys, nothing comes for free. That is the honest truth. You have to do an assessment. That assessment is £300. If it's something that you really want, you can khwabanisa the £300 and apply for the assessment, guys. I mean, people are paying £60,000. 60! 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60,000 pounds just to secure jobs here in UK. So £300 is not really a lot of money that you can cry about. You can say, oh, I have to pay £300. Sometimes you have to sacrifice for some of these things that we want. It would be very unfortunate maybe if you sacrifice that £300 and they say, oh, you don't meet the eligibility criteria or something like that. But at least you know that you would have tried. You just don't let the opportunity pass you. What qualifications do they need as Zimbabweans accepted? Because age. So the thing is, guys, it depends on what your government is saying. Because last week I shared jobs in Finland where they are hiring from overseas with visa sponsorship, right? All other countries applied, including the red list countries, but Zimbabwe, they were not taking it because of the government to government agreement, where the government says, please do not recruit people from our country, there is shortage in our country, and it is ethically wrong and so forth. So I do not know the current government to government agreement between Zimbabwe and Australia. If the government of Zimbabwe says, oh, we need our people, do not take people from our country because it's unethical, then you will not be able to go and work in Australia. But if the government doesn't mind, you can go and work in Australia. So it's government to government agreement, and I don't know what the current agreement is. What I know is for other countries, they've totally banned them from recruiting from Zimbabwe. That is the sad reality. Are they sponsoring COS and air tickets? This all depends on the organization, guys. Obviously, if you're applying to a company, it has to be licensed to sponsor you from overseas. Are they going to pay for your air ticket? It all depends on the organization. As you all know, here in UK, some organizations, they pay everything for you, yet some organizations expect you to pay for it. So it all depends on the organization that you apply to. Some organizations will pay for everything. Some organizations will expect you to fork out your flight tickets or your visa fees and everything. So it depends on the organization. Does Australia, because they do not want to burden their healthcare system. This is what this individual said to me. So if you've got chronic conditions, it's very difficult sometimes to secure a job in Australia. That's why even for things like HIV, they do screen if you've got HIV. You know, in UK, even if you've got HIV, you can come and work. But Australia is very particular. If you've got HIV, you may find yourself not getting a job in Australia because they screen you thoroughly. And if you've got conditions which they feel are going to burden their system, they don't take you. So that's the reality on the ground, guys. So guys, I think I've answered most of the questions which people had in the comment section. If there are any more questions that you do need answered, do drop them in the comment section and I'll be sure to answer them. And for now, guys, go to the link, find out the documents that you need to submit. If you've got money, submit and start the assessment process. And for companies which are hiring from overseas, the links are in the description box. Do check them out and see if they can hire you. And please do take note that for these companies to hire you from overseas, they have to first of all try and employ people from Australia, try and employ students who are already in Australia. And if they don't get people in Australia, they can hire from overseas, just like what has been happening here in the UK. And some people have been taking advantage of the student route. If you use the student route to go to Australia, just like people are using the student route to come to UK, and when they're here in UK, they move to the healthcare industry, you can also do the same. Take advantage of that visa route and go to the healthcare industry when you're now in Australia, because there's been a complaint that they feel as if many students in Australia are going to take this visa route. Of course, if you are a student, you are free to take this visa route to permanent residency. Remember, at times, if you are starting as a student, after finishing your studies, you might need to go back to your country. But if you utilize this visa route, you can have your route to permanent residency in Australia. So guys, this is all that I wanted to share with you. If you found this video to be helpful, do smash that like button and subscribe to my channel. Turn on the notification bell so that you never miss any of my videos. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you in my next video. Bye.